The process of respiration provides energy for speech, and that's the primary reason we study it in this course. In going through the respiratory system, we will go through a number of anatomical elements in different units, one on the respiratory skeleton and bony structures, one on the soft tissues and cavities, and then one each for muscles involved in inspiration and expiration. Here I'm going to provide an overview of how respiration works. The respiratory system is used not just for generating energy for speech, but is also important for life. The respiratory system provides an interface between our bloodstream and oxygen in the air. The body takes oxygen in and gets rid of CO2 during an exchange that happens during respiration. For speech production, moving air through respiration provides the air pressure that give the basic energy for speech. We use airflow from the lungs to produce speech, but only when exhaling. Respiration works because of a relationship between pressure and volume in masses of air. This is an inverse relationship such that reducing volume for a fixed mass of air increases pressure, and increasing volume for a fixed mass of air decreases pressure. During inspiration, our fancy word for inhalation, we expand the lungs, and that has the effect of drawing air in from the outside world. During expiration, we contract the lungs, and that has the effect of pushing air into the outside world. This effect is similar to that as shown in the image on the right with a syringe, where pulling the plunger down on the syringe will draw liquid out of a bottle using forces of pressure. The connection between pressure and volume has sort of two parts to it. As I said, when you expand an area, like expanding the lungs, you create a local decrease in pressure. When you contract an area, like contracting the lungs, you create a local increase in pressure. If the air in the lungs is connected to the outside world, which it is by the trachea and the vocal tract unless you hold your mouth closed, air pressure in your lungs will try to equalize with the outside world. So if we lower pressure in the lungs, air in the outside world will fill in that lower pressure space in order to equalize the higher pressure outside with the lower pressure inside. Similarly, if we raise the pressure within the lungs by contracting, then air will leave that higher pressure space to a lower pressure space until, again, the air pressure gets equalized. Since inspiration and expiration involves moving air between the lungs and the outside world, the way we think about this basically is in terms of pressure relative to the outside world. So in this image, they have two labels: positive pressure on the left for the smaller constricted jar because of the plunger, and negative pressure on the right for the larger, less constricted jar because of the plunger. These positive and negative pressures are relative to the atmospheric pressure in the outside world. So overall, the process of respiration involves inspiration, expanding the lungs to lower the pressure within the lungs, as in the image on the far right. That will draw air in from the outside world. Expiration is contracting the lungs, as in the image on the left. That will create positive pressure relative to atmospheric pressure and push air into the outside world. As we study the anatomy of respiration, we'll see both hard structures that provide the respiratory apparatus with enough structure to resist air pressure in the outside world, but also enough flexibility to allow us to change the sizes of the lungs in order to create these positive and negative air pressure flows.